came out of the tunnel a short time ago, and it was loud. We are ready for football. So are they, as the Packers get set to match up with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. That's fielded in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers to Michelle on the screen. A good first down call as the screen play gets him 9.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Thought they were going to have him down a lot earlier, but he was able to shed that tackle.
Shows the value of the weight room, doesn't it? Shows the value of the attitude when you run the football. Don't go down easily. Break a few tackles. Gain some additional yardage.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Shotgun now for Rodgers. He finds Dorsett. It's complete. Touchdown, Packers. Philip Dorsett, his second touchdown on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, that's how they envisioned it, get the football to start the game and score it.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll start out on the ground with a jive. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
That's how we do, D. That's how we do.
Next, the receivers don't spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
Well, to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
Great 15. Great 15. Run. Check. Bunch. SOS.
Play action. Now Wentz. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards the pickup there.
First down, Philadelphia.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Shorty. Topper. From the gun, it's Wentz. For the reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 12 yards is the pickup. Good for an Eagle first down.
Go.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Recon, 132 fighter. Watch twist. Kill. Sunday.
Working from the gun, Wentz. Completes it to Aguilar. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
10 yards on the pickup.
Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. And you know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys? Coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night, guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
61, match box, white. Check three.
On play action, Wentz. Looking for Jeffrey, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Of course, they have the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
Win 18. Check. No. Get right. Pilot, 64. Weak.
He's crashing. He's checking crash. He's checking. Crash.
Win 18.
They'll run with Michelle. And he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Easy. Hey, get 300.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up, back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle.
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
And they'll get him down up past the 15, just shy of the 20. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first.
That's good for Packers.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
Box it. 26.
Rodgers now on first down. He's going to air it out for Dorsett. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Blue 58. Hey, take 26. Protein spill. Back north. Check 50.
On first down, Rodgers. Complete to Dorsett. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there, 26 yards. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Jimmy Graham. His first touchdown on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Extra point try now for Crosby. And this is no good. Missed the PAT, so they fail to connect, and this remains a 13-0 game. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
Hey, exit.
Mike 51.
Watch the run, watch the run.
Now a play fake. Wentz. Trying to get it to Jackson, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Hey, Charlie.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game. Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. Really in a hole here, 3rd and 17 following the 2 negative plays.
Here we go. Hey, Haywood.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Avonte Maddox. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole, because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
X3, 218, chop it.
Let's put that team on the clock. Alert 3, alert 3. Alert 3.
Here's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid game. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So not quite a 1st down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard.
Check 15.
Sunday, General West. Hey, high 7.
Wentz, the handoff to Ajayi. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 7 yards there and a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
There we go, Pac-Man. 280.
50, Mike, 50. Hey, pick your game up. Watch the
Tyson. 82. Bravo.
Mine's 50.
Kill. Hey, ram. Greystone, travel. No.
Now it's Ajayi. And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half, as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. 20! And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now 13-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told, as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Mike, 53. Hey, Mike. Hey, we got to get this stop here, D. Let's go.
Hey, Zoo.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Rodgers. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Tighten up.
Lion.
Check. Crunch.
Kill.
So after the INT, here's Wentz. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And he will take it out to the 25-yard line. And he may want to track down that football, because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
The drive starts with a completion left side, and he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. That one good for 20 on the catch and run. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did.
Hey, Mike. 50. Hey, seam 6. Seam 6.
Check 59. Mike is 59. Mike to 59. I got him. Mike.
Hey, check 26. 59.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. Dorsett making the catch. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Shotgun now for Rodgers. He's going to air one out. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Rodgers throwing again. Dorsett's got it. Touchdown, Packers! Aaron Rodgers, 3 first-half touchdown passes. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that.
And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Snags it for the pick.
Well, as most teams do in their 2-point attempt, they pass the ball. Instead, it gets intercepted. And remember, if you pick it off, you get a chance to take it all the way back, get 2 points yourself, right?
Yeah, not the case here, but that's why you got to be really careful with those throws, especially to the outside. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Run on. 86 to man. 86 to man.
Shotgun now for Wentz. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Jair Alexander. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. A new life now following the late turnover. Maybe a chance for points here before the break.
Yeah, pretty nice situation they find themselves in because they're really maybe one completion away from giving their kicker a shot. And that gives them a chance to get some points up on the board.
Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. Touchdown, Packers! 4 touchdown passes now for Aaron Rodgers. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. So now Rodgers will lead the Packers up to go for 2.
50. Hey, you block over here. Block 26. Watch the twins. Go.
Now Rodgers operating from the gun. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Let's go! Let's go!
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? There's
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zadarius Smith. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Check my 50. Mike is a 50. Check my 50. Oh, here we go. Oh, let's kill. It's 50. Mike's 50.
Let's find two.
Tighten up. Let's go, D. Tighten up. Check out.
Now wins. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
Intended for Deshaun Jackson. Incomplete. Kevin King there defensively.
Go.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Check. 5-9.
He's the mark. Here we go, D. He's coming.
Rip.
He's coming. Double up.
Hey, wahoo!
A final shot before half for Wentz. And complete to Zach Ertz. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Here's Ajayi. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Check 3.
Check that. Score, Tokyo! Sunday!
That's Aguilar with it on the jet sweep. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Grade 15. 22-jet bomber. 22-jet bomber. Rush in. Rush in. 5. Let's go. Great. Grade 5-7. 80 weapon.
To throw, it's Wentz. Well, the two men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Cameron Johnston now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. This is taken around the 12. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Quarterback, don't get nervous now. Back north.
Here's Rodgers to throw. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. Give him 18 on that play, and Green Bay has the first as well.
First down. First and 10. 46-yard line.
Cut. Watch the twist. Watch me. Check 26. Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping. Check. Hey, check.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Michel. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
88.
Mike spot 9.
Hey, Echo. All day. Scan 300.
Rodgers now to throw. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And he's got it. It's caught for a